involved in things. Dangerous things.
Zoe, there's even more Final Fantasy VII Remake screens out in the wilderness.
Even more?
Even more. I'm so excited.
They are really treating us, aren't they?
I mean, they know what we want, and that is more stuff.
More pretty things.
So I've kind of gathered them all together, and I thought we would go through them and chat about them and just be excited at them.
I'm excited already. I'm at a good 76% right now. It's just going to push me up.
So it's really interesting because like they've kind of showed off bits that we're obviously familiar with, but it's a little bit different. So you've seen the train graveyard, right?
Yeah, we weren't there very long though, were we?
No, the train graveyard is actually an area that no dialogue or scenes with the party take place there. There's a lot of flashbacks there, but the party itself just moves through it quite quickly. There's no real explanation for it. It's just a place, you know, in between A and B. But in the remake, it seems like there's actually some cutscenes there. So you can see here, do you remember the bit where you have to drive a train forward to kind of like maneuver
and you like
out of the
crash
way?
it into something.
So that's what I think is probably going on here. But I mean, that's clearly a cutscene, right? Like,
yeah, oh, definitely. I'm sorry, if the game looks like that all the way through, then we are in for a treat.
I know. The thing that I really like about this as well is you can see summon materia. You can see the materia equipped on them,
That's
which
amazing.
is really cool. I love that.
Are they at like a desk? Oh no, that's the
It must be the
lever.
controls, yeah, which is really cool. So that's awesome. And then, yeah, this is kind of like, you know, them and you can see that there's a mini-map.
I mean, you do need one, don't you, if you're walking around this mess. So do you think they're making the train graveyard more of like a spooky atmospheric area?
It seems like it, which would be really fun because it did have its own unique enemies, and it kind of, remember you asked, you were like, is it a graveyard for trains? Are there ghosts there? What
I don't know.
What is it? Yeah. So it's like cool to see it sort of get a little bit more lore, I guess.
Because of that one train puzzle there was, maybe they're turning the train graveyard into a bigger puzzle. Like where you have to, because you know those massive circular platforms trains go on to turn around.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll incorporate that to make it difficult to traverse, and that would
fun. And that's what that kind of looks like.
Yeah,
there as
it
well.
does. It really does.
And you can see the cloud has different materia equipped in the Buster Sword as well.
I love that. I love it when you can see the small changes that your choices make.
And I mean, does the fact that they're kind of wandering around mean that, because like we're obviously in control of Cloud at this point, so does that mean your party kind of wanders around independent of you? Because that's quite cool.
It might be that like they have like an area where they'll chill, where you'll go off and do something to have them not following you all the time.
I mean, it's a bit of an inelegant solution in the original where they just walk inside you and you just assume that they're with you the whole time. And then this is like an overview, so it's quite, I mean, like you can definitely see that it is the train graveyard, but they've added little bits to it. Yeah, it's really cool.
It looks like it's going to be a lot harder to figure out where you're supposed to go when you look around it.
Oh, that's true. So it's not so much like just get through this place, it's like a little bit more...
Might be a proper environment where you have to find your way through.
They've given a little bit of flavour to it as well. A maze of abandoned trains similar to the original, and the characters do talk amongst each other as they pass through. They've said that after reaching the end of its use, it's become a junkyard for trains. Strong winds cause the abandoned carriages to creak and high-pitched sounds resonate. It is said that this sometimes resembles the laughter of children.
Oh, that is creepy and I love it.
So they're trying to make it a little bit creepier, which is really cool.
That sounds to me like they want you to think it's the trains creaking, but there's definitely going to be some enemies that maybe make the same sounds.
True.
And maybe you'll think you're like walking through, there's a creak, you're like, it's fine, it's just the train. And then an enemy pops up and you're like, ah, god dang it.
It's just like when they're giving this much attention to something that, yeah, sure, everyone knows the train graveyard, but it's not really one of those standout areas. It's not really like, yeah, it's just a place, but they're clearly adding a bit more flavor and depth to it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And then at the same time, so they released a few different screens on the train graveyard. There's also there's a screen that I'm really interested in as well. It's Aerith touching what looks to be an enemy, but that's not from a thing. Is it one of the enemies in the train graveyard?
It looks like she's touching its head and that's its arm in like stitching on one side. But what intrigues me is the blue marking on there as well. Like, are those numbers on the back of it?
That's true.
And like, why? If it's an enemy, I'm sorry. If it's an enemy, why would you be
touching
sympathetically touching it?
I feel like there is an enemy that kind of resembled a kind of like a burlap sack, kind of with stitching on it from the train graveyard. Why is she?
I guess.
Are they kind of trying to like show Aerith and her compassion for like I don't know.
Or maybe they see these creatures and they're not moving and she just thinks it's, I don't know, dead or something. And then that's like a jump scare.
Yeah, maybe.
Because there's also one hanging in the background. You can see a hand coming out of a sleeve. Oh no, like, here we go, a claw coming out of one and a hand out of the other. What would be as amazing is if the creatures and the monsters in it weren't all aggressive. Maybe there's some that are quite peaceful.
I would quite
because
like
Aerith
that.
is connected to spirituality, she might be like, oh, I can kind of understand them.
She can talk to them or at least calm them down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, moving on from that, they've released some more information on how Aerith fights. So obviously, like all the other characters in the remake, holding square or pressing square, it kind of is your regular attack button. And then every character has their own unique attack mapped to triangle. So Aerith's unique ability is Tempest, and you can actually hold triangle to charge it up to increase its damage. I think it's just like a long-range attack, although all her attacks are long-range. If you hold it down and charge it, it'll explode repeatedly after it hits the enemy.
Sweet.
Which is very cool. And they've also given some new information on, you know how you use your ATB gauge to do unique attacks with everybody as well. So her ones are quite new actually, because some of Cloud's were kind of remodeled after some of his limit breaks, but hers, so she's got one attack which is Soul Drain, which means that she can absorb MP directly from an enemy, which is very handy because all of her attacks pretty much are magic based. And then she also has Lustrous Shield, which conjures a magical shield that keeps enemies at bay and stops projectiles from hitting you. And then if any enemies touch that shield, they take damage as well. I mean, this looks gorgeous. I love that all of her attacks have a real kind of aesthetic, don't they? Like they're all kind of flower based.
I love that Lustrous Shield so much. The idea of a flower being a shield is just
awesome.
So. I love that they found a way to make Aerith's attacks still seem quite benevolent in a way. Like they're not like, she's not firing darts or arrows because that's not her, right? So it's much more with her flower garden and stuff. It makes so much more sense for her to use nature to kind of help her out.
She's literally the flower girl. Of course, she's going to be calling upon all that stuff. It looks so
I think it looks beautiful.
I like that you be getting like a sneak preview of the enemies that she's fighting as well.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember the ones that fly, the little icy ones?
I know exactly the ones you mean, yeah. I wonder what that text around her attack says. Someone's got to translate that at some point to figure it out.
Cool. The more we see of her attacks, it's so unique to her. It's just awesome.
Yeah. It'll prevent her from just being like that one squishy person in the party who just hits things with a stick. Bless her.
We've kind of found in our playthrough, when she runs out of MP, she's kind of useless.
Oh god, yeah.
So the fact that they're giving her a kind of built-in MP drain is super, super handy.
Yeah. It makes her much more useful for your whole party as well, surely. She can just beef you up.
Yeah, definitely. And then they've showed off Shiva for the first time.
I cannot with this. I love her so much.
So good. So like, she looks absolutely gorgeous. I love that they've really stuck to her kind of high ponytail, quite like very graceful design in the original.
The clothing around her, like boobs and her hips as well, you can see it's the same design as they used in the original. They've just added more accoutrements to her whole outfit to make her just, because you can't just have her covered in semi-sheer fabric. But yeah, she looks fantastic.
She is the queen of ice. And they've sort of made her like super graceful, like even as almost as if she's skating on ice when she's moving around.
Amazing.
And like they've said that so her abilities, because the way summons work is like we've said before, you summon them, you have like a kind of like a gauge that runs down where they'll fight alongside you and then they'll use their ultimate attacks. But you can also use your ATB gauge to sort of ask them to do various things. So she's got her ability Heavenly Strike, which conjures a great glacier and just smashes it down on an enemy's head.
I cannot wait to see that in person.
I know.
Just like a huge iceberg that just
look at it. Look at it. It's and like she's it looks like she's fighting Eligor as well, which is like one of that quite a rare enemy in the train graveyard. He was quite tough as well.
I don't think. Oh, did we fight them?
No, I don't think, because you have to kind of. I feel like you have to hang around. You have to be quite lucky or unlucky, should it be, like to find Eligor. Oh, she just looks so good.
It looks great.
And then her ultimate is obviously Diamond Dust.
Oh, I cannot wait to see that.
I've told you, like her Diamond Dust encases enemies in ice and then it shatters. It wasn't in 7, in 10, she just clicks her fingers and it all shatters. I really hope they adopt that because that was the ultimate like diamond dust. It was so cool.
I feel like surely they must know how incredibly badass that looks.
Yeah.
So, and like her wrist thing she does in Final Fantasy VII
Yeah.
is cool, but it's not got like that final moment.
We need
of, like,
attitude. We need more attitude from her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it is that final moment. It's that kind of like just that sort of that cue for everything to just shatter.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much cooler.
Just shows how effortless her power is. Like she's so
Exactly.
powerful. She doesn't need to like literally lift a finger. She lifts two and
I
does
know,
it, and then it's
so
done.
good. The
She's
snap,
amazing.
like a cold snap.
Oh.
So they've also shown off a range of different character arts, most of which we've already seen the characters, but it's given us a little bit more detail. So President Shinra.
Boo.
Yeah, right. They've kind of slimmed both him and Heidegger down, I feel. Because they were both kind of round, but then almost cartoonish in the original.
Maybe they want, what's his name, Palmer?
Yeah,
Maybe they want him to be the one who's a little overweight.
I mean, President Shinra just looks like the ultimate evil guy,
He looks
right?
so menacing.
Yeah. And then Heidegger, like, they've definitely they've made him less comical,
Yeah.
but they've toned down the colours a little bit, but he's almost exactly, like, the coat is perfect.
It sounds like looks like they've leaned more into making distinct silhouettes with stuff. Like you can tell which, just by looking at like the outlines, you can tell who is who.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah.
And then they've given a little bit more information on this brand new character.
Who is this guy?
So his name is Roche.
Right.
And so, I don't know if we've explained this before, but like, or talked about it, but you know how Cloud was a former soldier?
Yes.
And soldiers work for Shinra. So Cloud was the ultimate kind of the top level of soldier called Soldier First Class. Now, Square have revealed that Roche is a class 3C soldier, so he's not quite at the top of his game. He's not like, you know, the guard to the president, or he's not like on that like upper level. But they've said, so he's a 3C soldier operator turned rebel, which is really interesting. Yeah.
Oh wow. Maybe you go ahead and then I'm going to say my movie bit.
No, I was going to say, like, does that mean that he might become friends with the party?
Maybe he's like, he was part of, maybe because, you know, I can say the thing that happens to Avalanche, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the people of Avalanche, they all die pretty much, apart from Gunny or Barrett. Maybe Roche is like the one other Avalanche guy who stays alive and provides a bridge between Jesse and Wedge and
that would be
the other
interesting.
person, I can't remember, and like the rest of the events of the game.
I just wonder if he's kind of like going to be the final boss of, or at least one of the final bosses of the first episode of the game, because Square Enix have said, they've made pains to say that he loves spikes, speed, and anyone capable of going toe to toe with him.
Oh wow.
So like bikes are his whole thing. So like obviously the kind of the crescendo and the climax of the Midgar section of the game is the speed bike chase down the highway.
Yep.
So I feel like that's going to be where he kind of comes in.
Yeah, I mean, as a 3C soldier, he presumably has everything to prove.
Yeah,
So I guess it wouldn't be
true.
out of character for him to be like, if I kill these guys, maybe Shinra will actually employ me for something more.
That's so true.
A lost honor thing if he's a rebel now.
That would definitely be a thing. Because they've definitely expanded on the chases, because we've seen clips from the remake where, you know, there's bits that just didn't exist in the original, where like they're all having a motorbike chase where Biggs, Wedge and Jesse are present.
Yeah.
Maybe biking around is going to be like a thing that happens several times.
Yeah.
Because they do need to expand on the game. Like we know like it's going to be much bigger than the Midgar section of the original game, which is not that long. So that's really interesting.
I mean, Midgar is a massive city, so it wouldn't be out of character for them to actually try and show you more of it.
Yeah.
To make it last a whole game, you're right.
In fact, I think they have said that. They've said like they want to expand on like their area around the Shinra building. They want to tell you more about the people that live in Midgar. I bet I would love there to be like more side quests that they're
Absolutely, because when everything goes to shit, you want to feel genuinely heartbroken that the people you've met have died.
Yeah, they've really, there's something worth their sacrifice, and like there are actual people who are suffering because of what Shinra are doing.
Yeah.
So they've showed off a little bit more of the Shinra building as well. Look at the cafeteria.
Oh, that looks amazing!
I know.
Oh my god, I remember walking around there and finding that weird dude.
Yes! The guy that gives you the key card as
Yeah.
well. It's funny to say it, but like it just it makes you consider the verticality of the Shinra building so much more. Because every floor was top down, and here you can see, oh, like there's a mezzanine level, there's like just different stuff going on.
It's so fitting for that to be with the like encased tree in the middle. It's almost imprisoned. It's so Shinra.
Yeah. It's like we like nature, but only when it's working for us.
Only on our terms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I love being able to picture, like, remember the guy taking the nap in the gym and everything?
Yes.
It's so cool.
It looks really grand. Oh, I mean, it's like you said with the vertical stuff, it's almost giving me Bioshock vibes, just because it's so tall. You can already see how large it is.
So true. And then you've got the outside. Whoa. Look at it. It looks amazing. And I love that you can kind of get like just the whole industrial vibe. Like, it looks horrible.
Maybe they'll make sneaking a bigger thing. I mean, because you just go up the stairs, don't you, in Final Fantasy 7. If they're making the Shinra building bigger, maybe sneaking is going to be much more of actually sneaking rather than just going up a ton of stairs.
And I love that they've showed off the weird floor of vehicles that, like, obviously, is that the truck that they make their escape on?
Look, it's a truck at the back. It must be.
It's so awesome. Because I always thought the original looked more like a Ford F-100, but that's kind of a bit more stylized.
That looks really cool.
Oh, I'm so excited. And they showed off Sephiroth.
Oh, man.
And this is clearly when he murders the president. Spoilers. Yeah. But, like, that's the president's office, right? Because that's the only time he shows up as well.
Oh, my God. He looks... So evil. The thing is, I feel like Sephiroth's big thing is how tall he is.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to take into context how imposing he'd be in a scene without seeing that compared to other characters.
It's true, actually, because he is quite slender. Like, he's not...
Yeah, he's
beefy.
not like Roche, who looks like he's built.
Yeah.
Like, he does look a lot... Because I guess with his like long hair and his massive sword as well, Sephiroth is so elegant.
That's true. It's like all about his, he wields power in a really kind of, elegant way. Mm-hmm. It's so cool. And then, so they've showed off a couple of screens and character art bits of him. And then they've also, do you remember last time I showed you screens of Barrett and Marlene in the church?
Yes.
And also Aerith on the airfield? So those are all redone versions of screens from the original, and they've kind of almost completed the set now where we've got Tifa. Her original screen was her on the well where her and Cloud made the promise in Nibelheim. Look at how beautiful she is.
That is stunning. I feel like it tells you so much about her as well, that like what they want you to associate with Tifa is the home and the beginning of it all.
Home and hope, I think. Like she's always like just been relentlessly positive, and she's the mum friend in a lot of ways.
Oh, she so
Even
is.
though she'll drop kick a fool. Like she's all about taking care of people, and it's just gorgeous. Like I used to have the original of this as my phone home screen for years. So
It's
I will be doing that
circle.
Again. I know. And then we've got Sephiroth in the flames of Nibelheim as well.
Oh, those flames look incredible.
They
I cannot
really do.
wait to see what that scene looks like.
So good. But yeah, so that's almost it. Oh, I cannot wait to see Shiva in action. I can't wait to see everyone fighting.
There's so much that we still haven't seen though.
It's amazing that they're adding summons so early in the game, but then I guess it kind of makes sense.
I mean, you can't have a whole Final Fantasy game without summons, surely.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But it's all very, very exciting, and of course we haven't seen Final 13.
I know.
I think they're holding that back.
I think surely that's going to be like the day before it comes out, they'll have a big reveal of it to hype everyone up, and then you can actually buy the game and have him.
It's all looking really, really good,
Yeah.
and I'm glad that they've kind of given a little bit more context to who this new guy is. I'm still fascinated as to why they've felt the need to introduce a new guy, but I do think it's to do with the storytelling and how they're dealing that out.
I think you're completely right. You can't really have the last boss be against a inanimate, boring robot, can you? It doesn't really...
It's true. But so if you guys have been watching the channel, you'll know that we're doing a playthrough of the original Final Fantasy VII right now, so you should check that out.
Definitely should.
And if you are not completely up to date with Final Fantasy VII, you can check out one of our other videos where we've reacted to trailers and new content screens. We're just very excited.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
And it's only a couple of months to go.
Oh god, I can't, it's almost too much.
So yes, if you want to keep up to date, I do recommend you subscribe if you haven't already.
Absolutely, you better be doing it now.
And we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I'm really glad to have you back, Cloud.